Welcome to the stunning county of Sumter, South Carolina. I'm Mark Roberts and I'm here at one of the most strikingly beautiful places that I've ever been, frankly. This is Swan Lake, and if you can't tell why they named it that, just check out behind me. Now today on City Showcase, I'm going to take you behind the scenes in Sumter, show you what to do, where to go, and why the locals call it home. Stick around and let's check out Sumter, South Carolina.
Family friendly.
Home.
Fantastic.
Sumter's great.
Beautiful.
Friendly.
I think Sumter is a great place to live and raise your family.
The Opera House is one of the oldest standing structures in the city of Sumter. The current Opera House that we are sitting in now was built in 1894. The first Opera House, few people know this, there was an Opera House before the Opera House we're in now. It was built during the 1870s. It burned down in December of 1892 in a fire. Actually, the Chick Company, a theatrical group out of New York, was putting on a performance when the fire started. We're not really sure what caused the fire, but everyone got out okay. Actually, the actors, it's kind of tragicomic actually, the actors made it out only wearing the costumes they had on at that time. They lost many of their valuables, but almost immediately by March of 1893, construction began, and the Opera House that we are sitting in right now was finished around 1895. The cornerstone was laid, I believe, in 1894, so we use that as the actual date. So that puts the Opera House right now at almost 116 years old. It became a commercial movie theater during the 1930s, actually a pretty big Depression-era project, and employed something along the lines of 300 workers. And so the Opera House functioned as the Sumter Theater until the early 1980s. And in fact, many residents of Sumter still remember coming here, lifelong residents, remember coming here as children and seeing the Opera House, coming here to see movies, which is something that we actually still do to this day. So from about 1936 to 1982, the Opera House functioned as a commercial theater. In 1972, it was named to the National Register of Historic Places. One of our former council members who still lives in Sumter to this day, Colleen Yates, she was instrumental in getting the Opera House on the National Register of Historic Places. We definitely encourage people to come in for tours. You'll get this information and a lot more, and just really get to see the facility firsthand. It really is beautiful. We have several recurring events. The second Friday of every month, we have classic movies. We start at 7:30 p.m. At 7 o'clock, we open the doors, and as people come in, we play some of the classic Warner Brothers Looney Tunes from that era, which adds to the overall ambiance and the historical ambiance, you might say, of the experience. So that's a really great program. Admission to that is $2.50. We also have a newer film series that is called Big Screen Fridays at the House. And there we feature new to DVD releases. That event is most Friday nights at 7 and 10 o'clock. We do 2 showings, and again, the price is still $2.50. We do pretty much everything. We've had dance troupes come in here, actually as part of the accessibility program that we partner with the county on that. We actually had a dance troupe in as part of that. We will have concerts, comedians, bluegrass groups, pretty much anything under the sun. If you can think about it, we can probably do it here at the Opera House. And so we really try to accommodate anything. And so, you know, if you're ever in town and want to know what's going on, again, just call the Visitor Center at 436-2640 and find out what's happening. We've always got something going on here at the Opera House.
Swan Lake Iris Gardens is the only public park in the United States that's home to all 8 of the world's known swan species. Starting in the month of May, we have one of the largest Japanese iris gardens in the United States. The park was started in 1927 by Hamilton Bland, a local businessman who intended it originally to be a private retreat for himself and for his family and friends. However, he had planted Japanese iris bulbs at his home over on Hampton Avenue, and when those failed to grow or to do anything at all, really, he brought them out to the gardens and, well, what is now the gardens, and dumped them out. When he came back the following spring, he discovered that some of the blooms were up to 10 inches across and found out just by a happy accident that the soil temperature, the moisture level, the acid that is leached into the water by the trees, all of that combined to create absolutely perfect growing conditions for the Japanese iris. So the gardens were started with just a handful of irises, and the swans were brought in starting in the early 1930s, and we now have more than 120 varieties of Japanese iris and are home to all 8 of the world's known swan species. We have a wide variety of different kinds of ducks and geese, egrets, herons, and hingas. We even have an old barn owl who visits us occasionally. So it is really a great place for bird watching. And even when the irises are not in bloom, something is blooming generally all 4 seasons here in the gardens. During the winter, we have the Camellia Island Gardens, and during the rest of the year, we have large and intensive plantings of annuals, flowering trees, lilies, and really just about everything that you can think of that will grow in this climate. Dogwoods, azaleas, roses, all kinds of things. Our largest annual event is the Sumter Iris Festival, and that happens every Memorial Day weekend. The festival started in 1940 and has grown to be one of the largest and the oldest continuous festivals in the state of South Carolina. We will host anywhere from 40 to 60,000 people, and they will be in the park for 3 days, enjoying live entertainment, food vendors, arts and crafts, marketplace, all kinds of things. We have a quilt show, car shows. There's really something for everyone. Swan Lake is open 365 days a year, except in extreme climate conditions, which would mean a hurricane or a heavy snowstorm or something like that. But yes, we are open daily. That's 365 days a year from 7:30 in the morning until dusk, which varies depending on the time of the year, and there is no admission charge.
Shaw Air Force Base arrived here in June 1941 when the United States Army Air Corps began to clear land for what was then called Sumter Army Airfield. During World War II, the Army Air Force trained more than 8,000 pilots at what had become known as Shaw Air Force Base. Then after the war, in 1946, the 20th Fighter Bomber Group arrived here, and Shaw's mission changed from training to a combat unit. The 20th is still here today. Today, Shaw Air Force Base is the state of South Carolina's largest employer, with more than 7,000 employees and another 1,000 or more to come as the United States Army moves the headquarters of 3rd Army to Shaw Air Force Base. Shaw Air Force Base is the home of the 20th Fighter Wing, the largest F-16 combat unit in the United States Air Force. We have more than 80 F-16s stationed at Shaw. You can look at the importance of Shaw Air Force Base in 2 different ways. One is it's the largest employer in the state of South Carolina, providing employment for over 7,000 people, both military and civilian. And then that spins off into the community of Sumter and means probably at least another 13,000 people owe their employment to the existence of Shaw Air Force Base. The Air Force looks at it as a base that's here to stay, and today is considering Shaw to become the home of the F-35 fighter that is in early production right now with Lockheed Martin. All of us at Shaw are tremendously grateful for the support that we get from the Sumter community. Don't know what we'd do or how we'd get along without them.
this is quite a unique complex for a community the size of Sumter. The Sumter County Cultural Center actually includes a Patriot Hall Performing Arts Center, a 1,000-seat state-of-the-art venue. We also have our wonderful Sumter Community Theaters called the Sumter Little Theater. We also have one of the finest galleries of art in the whole southeast region, about 22,000 square feet of exhibition space and education space. And they have a wonderful, as I said, education center and have classes throughout the year and probably enroll over 600 plus students, adult and children throughout the year. The Sumter County Cultural Center is a very active facility. We have probably 70,000 people go through this facility every year. That's twice the population of Sumter. The performing arts venue, we have about 100 events every year, and they range from gospel programs to comedy shows to the Sumter Shaw Community Concert Series has about a 10 performance schedule, which includes every genre of performance, including some of the best service bands, you know, the Navy Band, the Tops in Blue, and the various service bands come through here also. And the Sumter County Gallery Art has probably 7 major exhibitions every year, everything from local artists to major international and regional and artists from throughout the United States will visit and exhibit their work here at our wonderful gallery.
The Sumter Little Theater was organized in 1941. It wasn't until '49 that it was regrouped as the Community Theater, and it was located near USC Sumter. In '66 is when it actually got nonprofit status and was moved here to the Cultural Center. We do 6 to 7 productions every season. We also have drama classes, grades 3 through 12 during the week. We also have adult acting workshops. We also do lighting workshops, and occasionally we'll do some props and backstage. We usually do 8 performances that run Thursday through Sunday. Sunday is always a matinee at 3. The number to call to get in contact with us or to reserve tickets is 803-775-2150. And we have a website, sumterlittletheater.org.
Well, you know, Sumter is a really great community, and you know, I'm from Aiken, South Carolina originally. Lived in South Carolina my whole life. Never been to Sumter until I started working for the city of Sumter, and I have to say, I was really missing out for all those years. Sumter is a wonderful community. We got a lot of great things, and I have to say, probably my favorite thing about Sumter, besides the Opera House, of course, are the restaurants. We have some fantastic dining, and a lot of it is located right here downtown. I think one of my favorite places is Angel's Mexican Restaurant, which is right next to the Opera House. Always great to go in there and get some delicious food at a great price, and it's right next door. So, you know, right before an event starts, I can grab a little bite to eat. We got a lot of other great places here in town.
We have great arts outlets, we have sports, we have music, good schools, great restaurants. Sumter's a really great place to live.
I like Sumter because, as the saying goes, we're in the middle of everything. We're a community that's large enough to provide the many amenities that I enjoy and my family enjoys living here, but yet small enough that we don't deal with all of the congestion of a big city, and the fact that we really are close to the beach, close to the mountains. If we want a larger city, we're close to Columbia, not far from Charlotte, so it gives us the best of everything.
I have a lot of concerts and car shows, a lot of hobbies you can get involved with.
I can't imagine living anywhere else besides Sumter. You're right in the middle of everything. 2 hours you can be at the beach, 2 hours you can be at the mountains, and an hour you can be at the lake. What a wonderful place to live.
The people is very friendly and kind, most of them anyway. And I get along quite well with all of them. And the merchants I go in, all of them is very kind, and show very much hospitality toward myself.
We have a very vibrant core of culturally involved people, and it's nice. It's small enough. We work together. We foster partnerships. We're not competing with each other, whether it's the theater or the dance companies or the art gallery. We're all trying to find ways to partner and work together, and that's very exciting.
Sumter gets under your skin. There is an X factor, there is a quality in this community that really cannot be described. It is something that truly has to be experienced. The closest I can come to putting words to it is to say that it's a metro area where honestly everyone really knows who you are. You go to places and people look for connections. They try to figure out if you are connected with a friend or a family member. And when people have seen you and they know you, they remember you. And so even though it is a pretty fair-sized city, it still has a lot of that small town feel.
Sumter, South Carolina, beauty, action, and a lot of entertainment. Now, once again, we can't address everything on the show, so to really experience Sumter, you've got to come and visit it for yourself. For more on Sumter and the rest of this great place we call home, stay tuned to Channel 26. For City Showcase, I'm Mark Roberts. Thanks for joining me.